You know who this woman right here is? This is Deborah Graciano, the mother of John Graziano, the same person that was in that car accident in 2007 with Nick Hogan, Hulk Hogan's son. When we talk about the legacy of Hulk Hogan, it's not diminished because of what he did in the ring. It's diminished because of him as a person. You guys want to say, stop talking about the racism, stop talking about what he said, he apologized. But let's just talk about him as a human being. He's a shitty person. And we can all say that because the things that he said about John Graziano, who is not the same because he can't eat, he can't walk, he can't even talk by himself. He literally has to have assistance. Mind you, this is an Iraqi war vet, and he's wheelchair bound. All he can do to communicate is blink. And even with that said, Deborah still shows Nick Hogan and Hulk Hogan grace, which she should not, if I'm to be honest. Because after I play you this Jailhouse call that Nick had with his father, Hulk Hogan, man, it's going to change your whole perspective. It's going to change your whole perspective. I'm telling you, it's disturbing. I had forgot about this until it came up on my timeline. And I want to say maybe there was a good reason because this definitely needs to be put out there again to remind people why so many of us don't fuck with Hogan. All right. So without further ado, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and play the Jailhouse call. And I just want to set this up again. John Graziano and Nick Hogan were in a horrible car accident. Nick was the driver of the car. He basically lost control while he was drag racing, hit a palm tree. Nick was okay. He still needed to be airlifted. He did go to the hospital, had minor injuries. But now John, his friend, cannot eat, can't talk, can't walk, can only blink for communication. He has permanent brain damage. He was left literally with a hole in his head. And this conversation that Nick Hogan and Hulk Hogan have, it's disgusting. It's going to make you hate them even more. I'm just going to be honest. Here we go. Let's play it.
Well, I don't know what type of person John was or what he did to get himself in this situation. I know he was pretty aggressive and used to yell at people and used to do stuff. But for some reason, man, God laid some heavy shit on that kid, man. I don't know what he was into.
John was a negative person.
He was what?
He was a negative person.
So John being a negative person is the reason why he ended up in the situation, even though you were the driver of the car, right? It's because of him, not you, Nick. You know, it's because of him. Get the out of here. And for Hulk Hogan to say, oh yeah, God laid some heavy stuff on him, almost like saying like, oh, well, it's a miracle that you're okay. But John, because of the life he lived, this is why he ended up in the situation. Deflecting from the fact that, no, he's in the situation he's in because of Nick, because of your son. You don't feel any remorse for John talking about it was God who put him in the... No. God has nothing to do with it. Your son put him in that situation. Hogan, are you kidding me? Do I have to remind you what the car looked like? Do I have to remind you what John Graziano looks like now? So again, you guys wanted to say, oh, who cares about the racism and all that? Okay, well, we don't have to talk about that. We can talk about how Hulk Hogan is clearly an asshole and he doesn't care about anybody. And he never held his son accountable. I guess, hey, I paid a little settlement. Why do I care what happens to John after that? Right? But Deborah Graciano, the mother of John, shows Hulk Hogan so much grace. We're going to go ahead and do a live reaction to this clip, you guys. Here we go.
Are you angry at the Hogans? No, I'm not angry at them. I was angry over certain things, like those Jailhouse tapes and different things. My anger towards them was very, short-lived. Can't waste my time with it. I have too many other things going on and too many wonderful things and too many difficult things to worry about, things like that. He was a young kid. He was spoiled, you know, and he needed to be held accountable by his parents. Not that they would be cruel or anything, but you.
Right. And I'm happy that you mentioned that. Do I think that Hulk Hogan and Linda were supposed to yell and scream at him? No, but he at least hold him accountable for the stuff that he did or what he did, you know? Don't pacify him. And there's even calls with Linda where she's calling John, she's being so disrespectful. And we can talk about Linda another show, but we're going to keep this on Nick and Hulk Hogan.
Don't let him talk about things like, oh, how I miss riding in this car and that while you're in jail for doing this to my son. They would have been so broken that I would have had to encourage them to live their life, not the reverse.
Were Nick and John friends for a long time?
That whole John was Nick's best friend story needs to go away. John was a car fanatic, and Nick was more like a kid brother kind of thing with John. John never considered him his best friend. He considered him a kid, like his own little brother. They probably just played up that best friend thing to make it look like, poor Nick lost his best friend. But he was more like a kid brother to John.
I'm glad that she clarified that. Like, they weren't like best friends like that. He was like a kid to him. That's it. And again, they try to throw that sympathy like, oh, Nick was so worried about John and he done tons of interviews saying that he's so sorry for what he has done. He's not sorry. And those Jailhouse calls, and mind you, there's more. He was never really sorry. It was about him because even on that same call, he was trying to make sure that Hulk Hogan worked out some kind of reality TV deal for him when he came out of jail so that he can make more income. He didn't care. And on top of that, let's kind of go back to the racism because we're never going to be done with that. Let me go ahead and pull up this article from Anscape real quick. Because Hulk Hogan, out of all the things, and mind you, this was before that call with Gawker. I mean, that recorded sex tape with Gawker, that whole situation. This was before that. This was in 2008 when he said this. So Hulk Hogan has always been a racist. That wasn't something new because he was under the influence. That was BS. Here we go, you guys. Let me pull this up. So right here it says the rant would become the most famous, but further audio leaks revealed even more racist vitriol. In a phone call with his son Nick, who was in jail following a horrific car accident, Hogan used the N-word, ninja. That means that you are my best friend, he said, and also worried about becoming black in another life. You know that God gave you this vibe, this energy that you and I are going to live forever, bro. I just hope we don't come back as a couple, I don't want to say it, Blizzak guys. You know what I mean? Or you know what I'm saying? Hogan quipped. So his concern, and mind you, this is why while his son is in jail for almost killing his friend, you were worried about being reincarnated as somebody black. Nah, you got some hatred in your soul. Now, some people will be all like, oh, well, he's just saying that he loves being who he is. Then he could have said Hispanic, Latino. He could have said Asian. He could have said anything. But being reincarnated as black, being one of those, excuse my language, niggas is horrible. I would never want to be reincarnated as black. Yeah, everything he said in that sex tape video about his daughter dating that black guy, he meant that. He definitely did. But like I said, Hogan, his son, they never really cared about John. They didn't. It was more or less, damn, we need to try to get off on this and clear our image, but we don't actually care about him. He will never be the same again. Nick and Hogan were more worried about their image than John. And John can never speak out. He can't say anything. Not because he's not here living on this earth. Because he can't, because he's brain damaged due to Nick and his negligence. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think about all this. But again, I'm just going to give you guys the facts mixed in with a little of my opinion, but it's right there. You guys can look it up. This is why people don't mess with Hulk Hogan. Has nothing to do with him being MAGA. See, I've never really even brought that up because I don't care. It's him as a person. You can be MAGA and not be racist, but hey, in today's time, it goes hand in hand. Deuces, everybody. Thank y'all for watching.